and today in Blitz City DIY, I'm going to be doing something that I want to do for a really long time, and that's upgrade my ukulele. Now, I got this ukulele about 10 years ago for about 20 bucks. It's a Rogue ukulele. It's one of the more entry-level ukuleles, but I've always really loved it, and you know, it has some sentimental value. I decorated it with the stickers that came with Beck's The Information album. I always thought they looked really cool. And basically what I'm going to be doing is changing out the tuning pegs, because this ukulele uses what's called friction pegs, which what it sounds like. It uses the friction from turning the peg, and the friction that's created by the string being turned is what holds it in tune. But I've had some issues with some of the two thicker strings kind of going out of tune almost instantly recently as years have gone on. So I'm going to be replacing it with what's called a gear tuning peg, and that's the string still goes through the post on the top, but a gear in the back actually holds it in tune, and it's a little bit more stable than the friction peg. So I got this set on Amazon for about $5, and it actually came saying just generic tuning pegs. So I think it's going to be good for my purposes. You know, I'm not like an avid ukulele player. I'm far from professional. This is just for fun, and I just want to have it be a little bit more stably in tune. So to do that as well, we're also going to be changing out the strings, and yeah, I think we're going to have a better sounding uke after that. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the old strings. So I'm just going to clean the fretboard with called some fast fret, CHS fast fret, because I also play guitar. That's one of my main instruments, and this stuff, it just conditions the fretboard, so it'll kind of like moisturize it and also clean it too. It just gives it that extra kind of conditioning and TLC. Next is going to be taking off the friction heads, and as you can see, there's screws here. I have a tiny little baby screwdriver I'm going to take those off with. So it's a bit difficult to get the friction heads off at first. They were kind of stuck, I think, with age. I actually have some crud on my fingers, so it's essentially a long screw that's holding in the peg. And there's like a washer here, and then this is the actual peg that the string is held through, and that's on the other side. So we're halfway through. Now, the next step is going to be getting these, because these, as you can see, the holes are a little too small, which I read on some forums, pretty common, that you can bezel through, and that's what we're going to try to do now. So what I'm doing is I'm drilling out to make it a little bigger, and that does work. I did one as a test, and it does work. That's the wrong side peg, but it goes there, and then you pop out the little washer here, and then we're all set. So we'll keep doing that. And this isn't fully charged, so we're also doing a little bit by hand too. You want to just aim the drill, you know, right into the palm of your hand. That's best practice, really. You know, you just want to go right in there. We're all bezeled out. Now it's time to get these new tuning pegs in, the new strings, and then we're going to be all set. I do have some actual knowledge to give now that we are getting into this portion, and that is from my experience with a guitar. When I'm changing strings or doing any kind of maintenance, I always put it on a towel or a pillow or something so that it has some support. Now, because the ukulele is a smaller instrument, I was able to do the other things 80% safely while holding it. But for this portion, I'm going to have to really exert some pressure, so I want it to be kind of secure, and while also being able to safely push down without harming the instrument or myself, and that's always very important. Don't hurt yourself. So what we're doing is we have these tiny little screws that I have on a little, this is actually a needle holder for sewing. It's a giant magnet, but it also works really well for tiny little screws. So as I said before, I put in the first one here, the first screw here, and now we're going to put in the second one. Again, magnet would be like so helpful. I wonder if I can like charge it. Yes, science! Okay, there we have it. New geared tuning pegs. So, did it. The tuning pegs are in. They're very solid. They have a nice feel to them that I never got with the friction pegs. So that's great. So next is going to be putting new strings on. We're all stringed up. All stringed up. Now we got to tune, and then we'll be able to play. Hey, so it is 24 hours later, and the strings have been on for that long. They've stretched out. Anyone that plays a stringed instrument knows that when there's fresh strings put on, they're going to be constantly going out of tune and flipping until they've had a chance to like kind of stretch out and basically get used to having this tension here, being stretched from here to here. And I have to say, I am more than satisfied. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled with this. The tuning pegs, first of all, look awesome. They look really nice. They look like they were meant to be on this uke too. They look like they really match. They really class up this already awesome ukulele, and they're really holding tune. Like if you listen now, it's in tune. You know, you got C, E, G, E. Oh, C, E, G, A. Sorry about that. And it's, before that was impossible. That would not, I'd play a note and you'd hear it, all of a sudden the E was the E flat, and then before you knew it, we were down to like B. I'm really excited. It sounds really nice too, which I know part of those new strings, which they're nylon strings, and they have a really nice sound to them. They really ring out, because it's a soprano uke, so it's a very small body, as you can see, compared to my head. So, with that, this has been another traditional DIY video. For the next couple of videos, I'm going to be definitely doing more kind of tech-focused stuff. I may even actually do a video on recording non-traditional instruments, like the ukulele. I also play a little bit of glockenspiel, which is the little xylophone, because that doesn't get talked about a lot. You hear about guitars and bass and getting that tone. It's all about the tone. It's all about the tone, but you don't hear about, you know, how do you mic up a clarinet? You know, so I think I'm going to be doing some videos on that, and my computer case transfer is going to be coming up soon too. So, but I think the last two videos have been the cart, which is I'm looking at right now, and I'm just pumped. And this, like I said, I'd been wanting to do for a really long time, and I'm so glad I did. So if you have like a cheaper instrument that you've now had for a couple years, and you're like, I love it, but something about it isn't quite right. You know, it's definitely worth it, because let's look at this from a monetary standpoint, purely financial, no emotions attached to the object or anything like that. These tuning pegs cost about $5, and this uke cost about $20 when I got it. So we're talking a total investment on this kind of hobby instrument. I mean, I'm definitely not like a Jake Shimabukuro or anything like that. $25. Not bad. Now, let's say I was just like, this uke, it won't stay in tune. I'm over it. To upgrade to a better uke, I'm looking at about $40 to $50, if not $60, for something, to fix something that can be solved with $5 here, and a little bit elbow grease. I mean, obviously there was a lot of elbow grease, but you know, that's another thing about DIY, the pride when you've done something like this with your own two hands, to know that I did this, and now this uke has, first of all, awesome stickers from my teenage self, but also these tuning pegs, and that stays in tune. It just really rings out. I mean, I'm probably gonna play more now, and so yeah, overall, awesome. And with that, it's been Blitz City DIY.